Hello, you join me for a ride on a brand new Campagnolo Super Record 13-speed group set. Is it any good? Can it compete with Shimano and SRAM? And can it save the company from the brink of extinction? Today, we'll find out. I've done a first look on the group set previously, that's linked above in case you missed it. But today, it's all about how it rides and performs. Ergonomics, shift performance, braking, and much more. So, let's dive in. And as you can see, I picked a lovely sunny morning for riding the bike. I have a nice 2-hour ride planned around the Cotswolds. It's muddy as hell, as you can probably tell. Hopefully it won't rain in the next 2 hours. Should be good, should be golden. So, been riding for nearly 2 hours, 1 hour 50 minutes, found plenty of mud. As you can see, the bike is filthy, poor thing. So, the biggest impression so far on the group set is the shifting layout, the buttons you press to change gear. And it's probably easier to talk about this back in the studio where it's less windy, so let's do that. So, shifting performance and the shifting configuration of buttons is quite different to Shimano and SRAM, and comprises of a paddle behind the brake lever for going up the cassette to a bigger sprocket and therefore an easier gear, and the iconic thumb shifter, which Campagnolo is famous for, which goes down the cassette to a smaller sprocket and therefore a faster gear. There's also extra buttons here, so bonus buttons I guess, that replicate the same operation as a thumb shifter. And the biggest first impression on that 2-hour ride just now is how the shifting layout is compromised compared to Shimano and SRAM, which are both very intuitive and easy to use in their own different ways. So when I'm riding along with my hands on the hoods, that most comfortable position on a bike, while this paddle here is easy to reach, the thumb shifter isn't. And my thumb doesn't naturally fall to that thumb shifter, and I have to find myself moving my hand back to allow my thumb to reach the thumb shifter, which seems absolutely crazy that the thumb shifter isn't where my thumb would naturally be when riding in the hoods. There are two ways around this though. You can wrap your fingers around the hood if they're long enough and press the gear button that way, or you can do, as I found myself doing, use the button here to change gear, and that works quite well. When you got your hand around the hood, you go up, down quite easily. That means the thumb shifter is kind of redundant when you're riding the hoods, which probably 99% of us ride in hoods all the time. So yeah, first impressions ain't great at all. And I'm a Campagnolo fan. I've ridden Campagnolo group sets in the past. I've always liked the ergonomics and the performance, but here it feels like a step back and not a step forward. But my favorite feature is probably the shape of the actual hoods. Quite a tall knob, easy to wrap your hands around. So I think nicer than Shimano and SRAM. The shifting performance of the group set has impressed me and definitely performs as well as the other electronic group sets. A work stand test isn't the best way to demonstrate how it works. You have to ride a group set on a bike on the open roads where it does perform better, but I'll try and give a little demonstration here. So rear shifting first. As you can see, it's pretty quick. Some gear changes are a bit clunkier than others, and definitely a bit clunkier, noisier overall. I think Shimano still has the edge compared to Campagnolo and SRAM in outright shifting speed and that absolute precision, but it's not terrible at all. And then front shifting, I press the right button. So I say front shifting, yeah, pretty good. I think Shimano still has the edge when it comes to precision and speed, but it's not terrible. And the brake performance is okay. Campag brakes have always had a good reputation and always offer good power and modulation, and they do feel good. But compared to the latest SRAM, the brake levers, they're quite heavy, and there's quite a heavy spring return that you have to work against, overcome that spring back to the neutral position. So not as nice as SRAM, which is much lighter, and just you can hold them a little further back and they feel really good. But these, they're quite a heavy spring, but the actual power delivery, that modulation is really good. They have a nice feel at the bite point. You can really feel where the bite point is and feed in as much power as you need in any situation in the corner. So I found the brakes to work well, both from the drops, quite a nice lever curve there, and they work well from the hoods as well. The brakes have been quiet so far in my testing. Done one ride in pretty crappy conditions, but yeah, no noise on the brakes so far.
We get deep, we get.
I do like the available gear ratios for racing and sportives, and the batteries are easy to remove and charge. So a mixed first impression. Things to like and things to maybe get used to, which I hopefully will do. And I think the biggest challenge for Campag is trying to convince people raised on Shimano and SRAM group sets to switch to a different system, a system that isn't really as intuitive or as easy to use as those other systems. That is a big challenge. And it does make me realise why Campag were the first wireless group set 2 years ago, dropped the thumb shifter and went to a 2-paddle configuration to try and replicate the ease of shifting that Shimano and SRAM offer. But the backlash against that was pretty bad. But a backlash from people probably not buying a group set anyway. So maybe they listened to the wrong people, and maybe that group set might be the way forward. So the thumb shifter, in some ways, while an iconic legacy feature of Campag group set, might be holding group set back from wider spread adoption, and could be a challenge trying to win people over. Disregarding the high price of the group set, even this at a low price point at 105 or Ultegra level in terms of pricing, the issue of that thumb shifter configuration may be a hurdle too far for some people, perhaps open-minded to a switch from their current group sets to something different, because different has to be better, not different worse. And that, I think, is a big challenge for Campag. So a mix of first impression, but just that, a first ride, and definitely things to like and maybe things to dislike. And let me know your preference for Shimano versus SRAM, and whether Campag is back in the conversation for you. It's not really a very nice time of year for testing high-end, posh road race bikes at all. I mean, I don't mind. It's quite pleasant today, but the poor bike, the hammering it takes, and I do feel bad. I mean, I wash the bikes and look after them as much as I can, but today the roads are filthy. All the farmers dragging muck and mud onto the roads. The hedges have been trimmed, so thorns on the roads as well. It's just a tough time for road bikes, but it's testament to how durable and reliable modern road bikes are. With disc brakes, electronic shifting, carbon fibre, everything, so nothing to rust. The bikes can take it. I just feel bad. It's like driving a Ferrari in the winter. But there we go. What can I do? Maybe a trip out to Calpe for drier, sunnier roads might be on the cards. Anyway, I'm going to keep riding the group set, and maybe my thoughts on it will change. But in the meantime, if you missed my first look video on the group set and the bike it's attached to, that's on screen right now. Otherwise, I'll see you all again very soon. Thank you so much for watching.